Yeah, hi everyone. Hope you're all safe and doing well. So I'll share my screen. So, so yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Annyeong Station, Korean drama. My name is Dilnaz, and I'll be your host for today. And what is Annyeong Station? So many of you all will be wanting to know what is Annyeong Station. Annyeong Station is a platform for conversation, interaction, and exchange between K-wave enthusiasts. If you happen to see our previous episodes, there were a few which the first episode was about Korean food. It was a very exciting session. I hope you got the chance to see that. And also we had few conversations with the influencers as well. So if you haven't seen those episodes yet, they are on YouTube, so go check it out. And yeah, so for today, we'll be talking about Korean dramas, which is, we named it as Hallyu Binger. So as you all know, Hallyu Binger is basically, Hallyu Binger, we named it this way because Hallyu, if you are not aware, it's basically Hallyu is Korean wave. So you can see the phenomena of K-pop, Korean dramas, culture, and taking the world by storm right now. So we will be talking more about Korean dramas in this episode. And so welcome. And today I also have a few guests on my episode, which are my Korean classmates. So we are all Korean language students. And so we have Shitija here. Hi, Shitija. And then we have Satya and also Nitya. So they will all be sharing their interests of watching Korean dramas and how that has acted as a catalyst for them to learn the Korean language. So we will be discussing all of that in this session today. And so talking about Korean dramas, now let's talk about Korean waves. So yeah, as you all know, that Korean wave is literally, it means like the flow of Korea. And it was basically termed by a bunch of Chinese journalists who framed this term called Hallyu. And since this wave, we've named it locations because as a wave, Korean wave has been traveling the world. So we'll be discussing more of that in the next slide. So yeah, now I hope you guys got a chance to take the survey that was conducted with the K-wave enthusiasts in Chennai. And out of the four that we asked you a couple of questions to understand what you guys are watching, what are your interests and everything. And we found out that out of the dramas, It's Okay to Not Be Okay was the winner because that got the most number of votes. And that explains that we will be talking more about that drama in this session. However, we'll not be able to talk about all the dramas. I know Korean dramas are like very fun and interesting, but we are very short of time today. So hopefully we can make it as exciting as possible. And also, if you have any questions, please post it on the YouTube comments or on the chat room so that we'll address it at the end of the session. And so about our Korean class. So about the Korean class, now, as I had introduced myself earlier, Korean class, so my interest in Korean dramas. So there was one of my friends who told me about Korean dramas in school. That was many years ago. And I think I was very young to watch the drama, which is Boys Over Flowers. And then I kind of took the interest of learning Korean after a few years. And these are some of my treasured memories from Inco Center, my class. And I'm sorry if there is because of the screen share, I'm not able to show you guys all the pictures, but these are some of our treasured memories. You can see some of our Korean teachers, and we have a certification day and a Korean cultural immersion class, which had music, and calligraphy, which our teacher told us about how to do calligraphy. And yeah, I mean, I should probably thank Inko for all of this. I think I'll treasure these memories for life. I think all of us here will do that as well. So yeah, now let's talk about why Korean dramas are so binge-worthy. For me, it's basically the short 16 episodes. Unlike unlike the American shows, Korean dramas are really short, and they come with a full package of everything. Like I'm just not talking about the romantic genre, like the other genres as well. You have the image, like all of it is the scenery, everything is just immaculate, and you're just like in awe with everything when you watch a Korean drama. So now some of my classmates here will tell us how. So yeah, guys, why is Korean drama so binge worthy? Like, Kshitija, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I enjoy watching it personally because I get to learn a lot from them. Like it's not just about the language, but the culture, the behavior, like human behavior, and how they deal with their problems. And it's like such an eye opener. Sometimes there are so many problems that are very common for everyone, but when there's nobody to tell you what to do, I think that Korean dramas do help you to kind of deal with them in a way. And there's so much of warmth in the drama. Like every time you watch something, you feel very much at ease and comfortable with whatever you're watching. And it's not like our dramas which are too dramatic. There's drama as well as lesson out of in like that you receive through the drama. So yeah, that's one of the best things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I learn a lot from Korean dramas as well. I know some people, like not everybody, some people find it a little cheesy, but then there comes a lot of other things as well that you can pick up from Korean dramas. So yeah, Satya and Nitya, what about you guys?
What I feel was like at the end of the day, after like a long day of work, and you come and watch this, is a huge stress buster. It takes your mind off things, and it also like takes you into a different world. You just not change your place even if you're at home, and I think that's one of the main reasons I see dramas a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like for me as well, I think more than that, it's a stress buster, and it's also like it takes your mind off things. So yeah, I think a lot of us can relate to that. And what about you, Satya?
For me also, I can relate with like Nitya the same way. Like when you're completely into work, and suddenly you want to like get out of it and like have a diversion, this helps a lot. And it also helps me to pick up like the language, like makes it easier to like understand the words, the pronunciation and all those things. And also the food, the way they show it, the relationships and how people relate with each other and all those things. I enjoy it.
You see a lot of Korean dramas, like all of them sitting together, having like a bowl of ramen. So yeah, I think a lot of us it brings people together. So you can see that food kind of brings people together as well in Korean dramas. So yeah, I think Korean dramas, I have to mention this. I think all of us kind of develop this second lead syndrome when we watch the Korean dramas. I think I kind of developed the second lead syndrome only after watching Korean dramas. I don't think any of us can relate to other shows from other countries. I think Korea does that beautifully, like you just hook to the second lead. So yeah. And now let's talk about the cultural appeal, like the lingo. Like for me, essentially, like when I watch Korean dramas, like my mind picks up a lot of phrases and words in Korean. Some of my friends who have not even watched Korean dramas, like they know the word oppa, and then they can like probably say Annyeong. I know it's very simple words, but people who haven't like don't know anything about Korea kind of pick up these phrases. And yeah, I think for me as well, learning Korean, I think in one of my classes, I had forgotten how to pronounce something. And there was Nitya here who kind of referenced it to a Korean drama and told me like, this is how you pronounce it. This is how he pronounced it in the drama. And I was able to remember that during the exam. So what about you guys? Like, what are some of the phrases few phrases that you picked up initially when you watch Korean dramas?
Actually, the image itself just says everything. Like these are the first word that you will notice, and
Yeah.
these are very common words. So you will see it in every episode. It's not like they'll miss any episode without these words. So one good thing about Korean dramas is that they use simple words like throughout the I mean in their daily lives they use the simple words more, so it's easier for
Yeah.
us to catch those things and use them with our friends who watch Korean dramas or like listen to music and stuff. So I think the best part is because we cannot have the privileges of having a Korean friend all the time, we can watch the dramas and kind of comment on things and try to speak in Korean. So that kind of helps me to learn Korean more. Like I don't have to have another person. I can just talk to the drama by myself. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
I think from the comfort of our homes, like you could like pick up so many Korean words, even if you haven't visited Korea, like Korean dramas. If you like watched a drama, you'll pick up so many phrases and words. So I think for all of us, it says, what about Satya and Nitya? Like what about you guys? Like which are some of the top 5 words from here? Can you like pick and tell me? Like which is yeah.
For me, the very first thing that I learned is that Annyeong Station, and then Saranghe. Like during the first class when I joined the calligraphy, everybody was Korean, including the teacher, and I was the only person who was an Indian. And I had like so much trouble like understanding everything. So these are the few words that they taught me.
Yeah, I think all of us, when we first met our Korean teachers, who were from South Korea, I think for me, I didn't really know any Korean. So I was like, because of watching dramas, I was like, Annyeong Station. So yeah, all of this is like, they pick up from Korean dramas as well. So yeah, this is like, Nitya, like, well, I know like Nitya here is like if all of you don't know, like she's very good at Korean, like she speaks Korean fluently. I think like for her, this is like, for us as well, this is like few baby words that because so Nitya, like what about you, like top 3
I think,
words?
like you said, these are the words that we catch immediately when we see these dramas, especially when when you get fond of the characters, when whatever they say, it stays in our mind. So that that when you want to remember something, and you just have to just remember what the scene was or what that character said. And like these phrases which you had posted are like the alphabets or the starting baby words for every person who learns the Korean drama. Because even while I drive, I use some of these words, when I get angry or something. I think that is something that's very fun to see, and especially like Shitida said, we could like use it between our friends. Although we won't really have a chance to have a Korean friend all the time, our teachers were the only person. We can't really use this to our teachers. We have to be respectful. So I think it's fun using among us during our classes. When we used it, it was really fun.
I think like for all of us, we picked up so many Korean words, and that really helped. Like watching Korean dramas really helped with learning the language. So I think Korean dramas, we are like really thankful to Korean dramas as well to like help us with the language. So yeah, let's go to the. So this is like, it's okay to be not be okay. I think this drama, for people who haven't watched, it's you should watch this drama. It's like, it's one of the it's one of the few dramas that talk about how mental health is a real issue and that needs to be addressed. And also, if you see, like, this is one of the scenes from the drama which he kind of tells her like that it's okay to be sad, that you shouldn't be embarrassed. So I thought we should include this image here. And for anybody who hasn't watched any Korean dramas, or should probably watch this, it's on Netflix, so do watch it. And so Kshitija here is like a real big fan of Kim So Young and this drama as well. So Kshitija, would you like to tell us like how you like, what did you like about this drama?
There was honestly, to start this thing, this drama was so good from start to end. Sometimes the drama lags till the end and they drag a bit sometimes, but this drama from start to end just keeps hooked onto it. And even the ending was so sad that you want to watch the second season, something like that. And there's so much to learn from it again. The characters which are now he was mentally ill, but still he was the who influenced helped all the characters in the drama, and he gave them hope, which even if they were like not having any trouble, which was like mental sick or something, they still had problems, and he was someone who solved them or helped them overcome the problems. Also, journey to from how he started, and then he ended up becoming like an artist and had his own book and had his own illustrations in it. That was a really beautiful journey to watch. He's a very strong character. Besides that, the fashion is amazing, and the main characters are really like eye candy. So I'm pretty enjoyed watching the drama.
Yeah, I think like a lot of us can relate to, the character development that is shown throughout this drama and how you could be hopeful in life. I think there's a lot to take away from each drama. So this is like one that we could include. And also for people who have some questions about Korean dramas, what you would like to see, or any questions related to dramas, you can post it on the chat group or on the YouTube comments. We'll address them at the end of the session. And also there'll be a feedback survey at the end of this session. So do take that survey. We'd like to know how you like the session so far. So yeah, then let's go to the next slide. So now let's talk about Korean drama location. So initially I talked about Korean wave. So basically the Korean wave, is why we named it Hallyu, because it was termed by a bunch of Chinese journalists. And it talks about how Korea relies on soft power rather than hard power. Hard power is basically relying on military and power, but a country that uses its image to popularize themselves. Korea is like one of the few countries in the world that uses that. And you can see that in dramas, you can see that in K-pop and every other Korean culture, and all of these that cover about Korean, that shows you everything about Korea. So we thought we have to talk about a few Korean drama locations, famous spots that you can, when traveling opens up now, slowly everything's opening up. But if you do get the chance to visit these few places. So now we'll talk about a few places that we have included here. So we talk about how sitting from the comfort of your homes, it gives you a virtual tour of places around the world. And Korean dramas are like 10 on 10. They give you like a virtual tour. And now Nitya here will tell us about her trip to Macau. So basically, she had visited Macau, and how the drama Boys Over Flowers was shot there, like a few episodes, and she'll talk about how her trip to Macau was very exciting and memorable. So yeah, please take it from here.
Yeah, okay. So I think Boys of Flowers is like the like a starting point for a large number of people who have joined the bandwagon of Hallyu, and I think so many people would have like started to see a lot, binge watch or see a lot of Korean drama still now because of this drama. It was like a huge issue back then, and actually after visiting all these places, which will be coming in the slides, it was interesting to to realize that I've actually been to these places which had come in the drama. There are like 2 full episodes which come in Macau in the Boys of Flowers. So it was a really nice experience.
Yeah, I think like one of the scenes that you visited here, you can see like Janti sitting on the top of the stairs, and this like
the
one
second lead and the female lead have gone around Macau.
Yeah. Yeah, and here I think Faded to Love You was also like shot here.
Yeah.
And then about the Macau Tower. So you couldn't like visit the tower, but you got like a mock replica of that in a mall.
A replica of it made of Pepsi cans.
Yeah. I think in Running Man as well, this is like a landmark in Macau, which is used for bungee jumping. So in one of the Running Man episodes, you can check it out.
Yeah, come on.
So it's a really funny episode. So it's shot in Macau as well. So these are like few Korean drama spots that if you happen to travel the world, do visit here. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nitya. So yeah, now moving on. So there's another person who couldn't join us today. She's one of our Korean classmates. She's part of the cabin crew, so she travels the world and she couldn't be a part of the session today. So she was sweet enough to share her testimonial on what inspired her to learn Korean. It was one of the biggest factors was watching Korean dramas. And this is one of the pictures from our at Inco with our Korean teacher, Cho Sohee something name. So she kind of in this, so she talks about how Rasya talks about how Coffee Prince was one of the dramas that inspired her. She told me that she watched it like more than 10 times, and that kind of helped her to learn Korean as well. And that helped her also when she visited Korea. It helped her have a conversation with the locals. So, and yeah, so she can't wait to go back again. So she was also sweet enough to share a few photos, her memories from Korea. So we'll be seeing that in the next slide. So yeah, if you see here, she visited the Namsan Seoul Tower. So here, if you could see that there are a few scenes from Korean dramas. Here is one where it's the tower with the locket. So couples usually come here and sure, and that's a sign of eternity, I guess. So yeah, you see this in My Love from Another Star. And then also Eternal Monarch, you can see Lee Min Ho standing here on top of the Namsan Seoul Tower. So this is like few scenes from the drama. You can see that she visited the place. She couldn't go there, but then yeah, she tried to take an image in the background as well. So here she had also visited the King Sejong. So for people who are not aware, King Sejong was the one who discovered the Korean language. He was the one who put together the vowels and the consonants for all the Korean language. And this is like one of the statues. And it's near the Gyeongbokgung Palace. And if you could see here, memories of Alhambra and also Eternal Monarch was shot here. So if you guys happen to see the drama Memories of Alhambra, you can see how the statue comes alive in one of the episodes. And as well, if you could these are like few of the dramas that you should check out. And it was also, all of this was shot here. So these are some few dramas that we have included. So do check it out on Netflix and other streaming channels. And also she had a chance to visit the Gyeongbokgung Palace. So here, Gwawamun, which is like the main entrance to the Gyeongbokgung Palace. And the palace has 4 entrances, and this is like one of the main entrance. And she told me about how when you wear a hanbok, and when you visit this place, it's free of cost. All you have to do is a hanbok. And so you could, like, if you do get a chance, then do wear a hanbok. And yeah, hanbok makes you feel really pretty. And you can like take a tour around the palace. And she had also visited the Myeongdong market. So you can see that in a lot of dramas. So it's a shopping paradise as well for people who want to shop for K-pop and Korean drama merchandise. So yeah, these are like few places from here. And also she had visited this bookstore, which is a landmark. It's the oldest bookstore in Korea, and it's called Daewoo Bookstore. And you could see that few of the BTS artists had also taken a few pictures here, and we're not able to zoom in here, but then you can see that there was a few Korean actors who had also left their testimonials here of visiting this place. So if you do get the chance to visit Seoul, do go here. And also there is no free, I think it's free of cost. All you have to do is just buy a coffee there, and you don't really need to buy a ticket. The only way that you pay is buy a coffee or buy a coffee at that bookstore. And also there's a video that we'd like to share with you guys. So yeah, I'll just share that as well. So this is like one of the videos that she had shared of visiting the place, and you can check it out.
나만이 비손 뒤타는 그곳으로 가 휘파람 불며 걷다가 나는 생각해
Can I take away? We're going.
So you can see here that like BTS artists had presented here, and then this video kind of gives you a feel of how Korea is very welcoming, and also you can also have a look at how, I mean, it's very warm and yeah, welcoming is how Korea is. So if you do get the chance, you can see that in Korean dramas, and if you visit in person, it's very similar. So. And yeah, once. I'll just stop my screen again. So yeah, this is like one of the oldest bookstores. So now let's go to the next segment, which is about Korean traditional dresses, hanbok. So I think this is like one of my favorites, and which talks about how in the drama Mystic Pop-Up Bar on Netflix, if you do get the chance, you can see the protagonist changing into different beautiful hanboks. And there's a place in Seoul called Arang Hanbok where you can hire a hanbok. They also have different kinds of hanbok for wedding as well. So if you do visit the Gyeongbokgu neighborhood, you can hire a hanbok. And yeah, this show, if also in this drama you can see that she wears like different hanboks. So if you do get the chance, do watch it on Netflix. And so Kshitija here will tell us about how hanboks and Korean dramas have inspired her to design hanboks. And which we'll be talking about in the next slide. But before that, I had to include this, which is about IU. So if you do had the chance to watch Scarlet Heart Rio, you can see that IU wears this different hanbok, and in one of the episodes, she follows the 8th prince in the snow, and with a pretty hanbok. And also in Moonlight Lovers, there's one episode where she wears a hanbok. I think throughout the episode, she pretends to be a guy, so she doesn't wear a hanbok. So in one of the episodes, she kind of, so if you do get the chance, do watch it on Netflix. So these are the things that we thought that we had to include in this list, pretty hanboks. So yeah. And now Kshitija will tell us how that Korean dramas have inspired her to like stitch and design hanboks. So yeah, Kshitija.
Yeah. So since I'm like a big fan of watching historical Korean dramas, I really enjoy looking at their traditional clothes. And I was always fascinated. Also, you can find a lot of hanboks on Pinterest. And there is an artist who makes really transparent chogoris, the jacket. And it's so beautiful to look at. It's like so delicate. And when I saw Sully's photo shoot, I really wanted to just make one for myself. So I tried using organza and silk and tried to make like a contemporary handbook for myself because I couldn't buy a traditional one for myself. And it was difficult to think about having embroideries and stuff. So I kind of went and made a contemporary one for myself. This is one of the modern handbook, and it's not like the typical one which has formal one which has like a white collar. I wish I can make that later on, but this one was just for trying it out. But it was
but then even despite all of this, I think you have like done very beautifully. Like as you all can see, like she did all by herself. So that's like, yeah, very impressive. So yeah, now let's talk about, so you told us how you couldn't do the collar part. And over here, you can see that she had actually drawn me in one of the images with the hanbok. So if you do get a chance, then you should go check out her page. And she has like stunning art there. And in one of the Inco, I think gallery sessions, Inco hosts a lot of galleries where you can go and see a lot of artists put up their art. So if you do get the chance, now I know because of the pandemic, everything is closed, but when it opens up, do go check it out. It's very exciting. And yeah, Kshitija, so tell us how this painting kind of inspired you to do this.
So actually, when I was studying with you, we went for this exhibition, and you sent me that you really like how it was portrayed in the in the artwork.
Yeah.
You were like, I kind of want something similar, like so. I tried to make hanbok. Like I tried to make you an hanbok, and I hope you liked it. You also told me you wanted like. So I was like, okay, let's try that out. And try to put all the floral Korean handbooks have like floral designs, so I kind of tried to make that in this sketch. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, I know, like you can see like how she has like drawn here by herself. It's like very impressive. Yeah, still love it. So yeah. And yeah, no, thank you, Kshitija. Now let's move on to like the food. I know Korean dramas make me feel really hungry. I don't know about you guys, but I know like a lot of my friends also, when they watch Korean dramas, it makes them feel very, very hungry with the ramyun. And well, you can see that they have soju in between of the episodes. And these are some of like the few food you can see that the mom sometimes like Oma comes and gives kimchi to the son, or like when they're in the house, like you can see some commonly used food like kimchi, kimbap, jjajangmyeon, all of this. So if you like ever get the chance to, you should also try it out at home, and also check out our Korean food episode, which is episode 1. So yeah, that's like one. Now Satya here will tell us how Korean food have kind of like Korean dramas have inspired her to make food. I'll be covering that in the next slide. But these are few pictures that we thought that we should include in Korean dramas. So you can see that the Itaewon class has a particular episode where they have a Korean tofu stew, and another where weightlifting fairy, you can see that Kim Bok-chu has like with her friends Korean BBQ, and also My Love from Another Star, that you can see that she's having this bowl of noodles. So yeah, these are like some of the dramas that we thought we should include. These are some of the scenes. So if you haven't watched any of these dramas, do check it out. And yeah, and now Satya, like, tell us how Korean dramas have like inspired you to make all of this beautiful looking, and yeah, it looks,
So
all this looks really delicious. Yeah.
Thank you. So I got into Korean through calligraphy, and as I said earlier, like everybody in the calligraphy class was like Koreans, most of them. So whenever there's a festival, their festival or our festival, they used to be like sharing food, like the traditional food and all those things. So they used to share which drama to watch, like what kind of recipes to try it out to get this, and what kind of taste is good and all those things. So the recent one that I've shared here is Mr. Queen image from the recent drama that I watched on Netflix. In this one, the scene is about the queen who's having a battle with the royal chef, and how they portray the food. It's like very fun. And you also feel like they make it look very easy for you to try. So that's how I got inspired to try different food. Since when there was a time where we couldn't travel much or like go out much. So I was focusing on taking food pictures, like trying out new recipes and all those things. And that's how my journey in food started. And that's how Korean dramas helped me. And during class, you guys also shared like a lot of dramas, which I can watch to pick up the language. So everything together.
Yeah, I know.
Part
Like
of the day.
I think a lot of for people who are not aware, like we had like at the end of our Korean classes on the last day of our certification, our Korean teachers would bring us Korean food, and we would bring Indian food or sometimes Korean as well. We try our hands on Korean food, and we come together, and it shows you how like food brings people together, and despite different cultural backgrounds as well. So you can see that in Korean dramas. And yeah, this is like one of the, I think one of our memories that we had to share. And yeah, now talking about Korean calligraphy. So you see that in a lot of Korean dramas, historical Korean dramas, you see the kings trying their hands on calligraphy, and we have like calligraphy classes in Inko where like you can learn how to do calligraphy as well. So yeah, Satya, tell us what is the story here? Yeah.
So for me, the teacher was very inspiring to share all the techniques to the details, like where you get to understand how it should be done, like from the way you hold your brush, from how to grind the stone to get the ink and the consistency of the ink and the paper quality, like how it bleeds when you just don't focus and when your mind is all over the place, you don't get it at all. So like how it's mentioned here, the 4 treasures or 4 friends. So the paper, brush, ink stick and inkstone should all come together for you to write it. And in all the dramas, if you see all the historical things, the way they hold the brush and the way it moves, it's like very inspiring, and like everybody should try it once, I would say. And it takes a long time for us to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But
I
everybody
know,
should try
like,
it.
oh, you also, but I mean, once I think one of the Korean classes, you also told me how it's very, it gives you a sense of like meditation as well. Like you enter a state where you feel like you're fully engrossed in while you're doing that calligraphy. So yeah, this is like one of the.
So in the art class, when you join, like the moment you enter and when you start painting, you'll forget about everything else. And the moment when you're stepping out, you'll realize like time just flew by and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
And thanks to all the people in the class, they were kind of like very helpful in explaining things, like when you're not understanding something, like trying to take some reference from the drama or some movie or somewhere online and then explaining it until you get it. So that kind of like helped me in the journey.
Yeah. So I think this is like with one of our Korean calligraphy teachers, Kali Sonsengim. So yeah, I think Satya, you can tell us.
So like my influence into Korean is through calligraphy Sonsengim, and she also taught us like the different writing styles and different styles of like art done with the calligraphy. And here I have included the drama which I'm watching, the ongoing drama, which is Lovers of the Red Sky. If you get a chance to watch it, I would say, because this has like more of art to it. And you will get to like see how beautiful it is and how much effort and things is done to get one thing done.
Yeah, I think like you can even see the Korean characters here, like Satya has tried this as well. This room that you see here, it kind of looks like a king's room in the historical dramas. So yeah, it's like, it's really beautiful.
So, and then the paper on which that we do the calligraphy is Hanji. It looks very brittle, but it's kind of like one of the long time existing paper, which is handmade. And in those old times in Korea, they used to have it to cover your windows and doors. And it's kind of like weatherproof and all those things, and keeps you cool at the same time, keeps you warm depending on the weather and the season. So that's how the paper is. And one of the people that I've included here is Amy Lee. She's an artist who teaches like kanji making all over the world to keeping the tradition, like sharing it in the global stage.
Yeah, I think like over here, like I think is the hanji paper like made up of rice? I think
Mulberry
when
pulp.
we tried. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, you can see how I think Satya has tried all of this on her own, and you can see how beautifully it's been done. Like some of her art as well, like your Korean traditional painting.
From the calligraphy, I also got interested in the folk painting, which was taught Minwa in the calligraphy class. So here I have included the main picture, like the traditional one, which you will see in all the palaces if you visit, or if you're watching any historical drama. It's called the painting of the sun, moon, and the 5 peaks, which explains everything about Korea. And this is always there in all the historical scenes, saying that the painting holds all the energies in the universe, and it helps to keep the evil away and gives you like good vibes for you to when you're making very critical decision and all. And there are also other paintings like the folk paintings, which are done for like specific reasons. And thanks to Sang, she used to explain everything, why it is done, what is the meaning behind it, and where it will be placed. For example, there are certain paintings which is done for the study room alone, certain paintings which is done for the ladies' room. So in that way, there are like many things, like many are done for like gift for the couples who are getting married. So there is always like meaning to everything.
Yeah, and like you can see that in here, like all of this. And what about this room? Can you tell us?
This is like from the historical drama, The Moon Embracing the Sun. This, if you see, this is in the king's bedroom, which is like a panel kind of a thing. So if you see it any historical drama, you will see it in many places where the king or the queen will be there.
Yeah, it's like very interesting to see that each painting has a story behind it. It always does. Like in Korean dramas, they kind of explain to you. And yeah, if you do get the chance, do watch historical Korean dramas.
And it takes like a long time to paint this, because it like each step involves like a technical thing to it. And thanks to Sang, she was like teaching me patiently and taking me in like step-by-step thing.
Yeah, I think like it takes a lot of patience to do this as well. I think our Korean teachers have taught us really well, and yeah, you can see that in her art. So these are like some of Satya's paintings, other paintings as well. So let me just drag this down here. So yeah. And
so thanks to Sang, she gave me the opportunity to try things that I wanted to try. It was not stuck to the traditional minhwa. She also gave me the opportunity to try whatever that I wanted to try.
Yeah, you can like see here, like so you've tried like different. You can see flowers here. So and I think you've tried all these intricate designs. It's like really hard to do. So you've done that. It's come out really well. So, and yeah, so thank you, Satya. So thank you for showing us your art. So yeah. And now let's talk about tech savvy Korea. So I think we had to mention this because a lot of us have know or have come across the fact that Korea is very technologically advanced. And in one of the dramas called Startup, you can see how hard it is for a startup to come up, and also the use of machine learning and AI, and how that plays a big role now. And so if you ever get the chance to watch this drama, it comes with a whole package of everything. And yeah, this is like, we had to include this. And yeah, this is like one of the dramas that you should watch. You can see that one of the scenes, they try to like test with artificial intelligence here. So yeah, do check it out when you find time. Yeah. And yeah, I think all of us, it's like one of the, so now we're like we've reached the end, and I think we're sorry if we couldn't cover all the Korean dramas. We're like short of time, and but then we wanted to include as our takeaways from Korean dramas. Like Shitaja had shared her art of making humbooks, and Satya showed us how food and art plays a huge role in her life, and she has learned, and that Korean dramas have acted as a catalyst for her. And also Nitya, who had visited Macau, and she never knew that she had visited certain spots that are from Korean dramas, but coming back and realizing that these are some of the spots that landmarks that she had visited, it made it like the trip was worth it, I believe. So yeah, and so a few takeaways for Korean dramas. I think they help you try out new things. So obviously, I think sitting from the comfort of your homes, you can see that you enter a whole different world, and I think you can relate to a lot of what Asians are very similar, so you can relate to that as well. And taking care of your mental health. These are like one of the, I think It's Okay to Not Be Okay was one of the dramas that taught us that. And also, I think for binge Korean watchers who have been binge watching Korean dramas, they'll know how in few of the episodes they teach you how to break eggs with like they take and they hit it on the forehead. So yeah, I thought we had to include that as well. So what about you guys? Like, what are your few takeaways from Korean dramas?
I think I like how they try to break the stereotypes in the dramas, and
Yeah.
there are things that people need to actually learn and educate other people with, and they try to make sure that we get those tiny lessons throughout the drama. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the great things. Also, the cinematography is so good, and every scene you feel like you it's just like it catches your attention, and you they really film it in a way that
Yeah.
the other dramas or other series are not really filmed with so much of details, but
Yeah.
they make sure that every detail looks very pretty to the viewers. So I really
Yeah.
like that part as well. Also the music.
Yeah, the music and the OST. Yeah, also.
Also
So yeah,
idol actors who have their dramas. I'm pretty sure all the K-popers might be interested in watching the K-dramas because of the idols. So yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the dramas now have like K-pop. I think they've been having K-pop artists from a very long time, and you can see how they're very. Well, I think they're all rounders, like in a way, like they can sing, they can dance, they can act, and yeah, whatnot. So, yeah. And yeah, Satya, what about you?
For me, like it was helping me a lot in picking up the language to make me inspired to try new things, like pushing me out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't have tried any of these if I had not got into Korean for sure.
Yeah.
And the way they present the food, the way they arrange things, or the way they capture a photograph, everything is very inspiring.
Yeah, I think like they show all these immaculate designs. You see how the cherry blossom and all of that is like from Korean dramas. And yeah, Nitya, like yeah, the last person to tell
Yeah,
us
for
how.
me, I think it takes me to learn the language a lot, like Satya said.
Yeah,
Once you start listening to all these pun intended jokes, you just really want to know what they mean. What is that
yeah,
reference back then? I think Reply 1997 and 1988 and all those series, I think
yeah.
that they use a lot of references for their jokes or their daily conversations. And I think that took me into, learn more about the culture and the language.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like a lot of us, all of us, we picked up so much from it. There's so many takeaways from Korean dramas, and yeah, I think for me, basically Korean dramas have made me a different person. I believe like it has helped me learn a new culture and learn about. People from a different part of the world, and they've also helped me like meet all of you and make amazing friends for life. And yeah, I think I will always treasure these memories, and thanks to like Korean dramas and also to Inko, I think to bringing us all of us together and to share our memories. So thank you, Inko Center. And also we'll be like, if you have any questions about the drama today, like any questions about drama, essentially, you can post it on the chat room. So yeah, we'll just stop our we'll we'll address them now so that we can help guys.
So somebody has written Sky Castle and Penthouse. I'm so much.
Yeah, mind-boggling dramas.
Yeah, I think I haven't asked you guys. So what about the three top dramas that you would suggest? So Kshitija, please go on. Yeah.
I've been watching Hospital Playlist since the first season, and that is
Yeah.
such a good drama. Like it's something that you can watch whenever you feel like you're down or something, and there's so much of positivity in that, and so much to learn. And the main thing is that there's no character that is evil, so you kind of don't have the villain character in it, and this
Yeah.
like so much of positivity and all good characters, and you cannot even choose one single character you like. There's so many good things about it. Also, second one would be Age of Youth, which shows how they're adjusting with each other, the roommates, because different people come from different places. They have to stay together and try to live together, and that is a very difficult thing. So it's like a good story, and they come together, they help each other out, and they deal with problems together. It's such a good drama. And then third one would be It's Okay That's Love, because Kyung Soo he has acted so well in his drama, and the drama also deals with like it talks about mental illness, and the main lead has schizophrenia and other disorder as well, and how he deals with it. It's a very nice drama, and even the other character has another problem that the second character, they kind of help him through it, and it's a very nice drama, and everybody's helping each other, which is a very good thing. We don't see that in everyday life, so it's nice to get that positivity.
Yeah, so yeah, these are like few of Kshitij's picks. And Satyam, can you suggest some historical dramas with this summer? On the chat room was asked us, Shweta's like asked us how few historical dramas since you
Lovers of the Red Sky is the best one if you're interested in art, and Mr. Queen if you're interested in food. And just for the general thing, embracing the Moon Scarlet. Yeah.
Okay. And Nitya, what about you?
Yeah, I think like Kshitija said, I'm someone who watches dramas more for the idols. So all my top 3 dramas are based on these idols. So I would say the Reply series, all the 3 are really good, and it focuses on a lot of relationships and the problems and how they solve it. So I think it is a lot relatable to me than other dramas. So I watched it so many times. I mean, I could like recite the dialogues on my own right now, but yeah, I think I really loved the relationship because each and every character is given an importance. They have a backstory, and how they all meet in different circumstances. It's really beautifully shown. So I really liked it, and yeah, so I'm going to say all those 3.
Yeah, for me it would be Memories of Alhambra. Like these are like I think all of us have been watching. This is a current drama, the Hometown Cha 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 on Netflix. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's like that's like one of the dramas that you should check out. And I think it's hard to like pick top 3, but like I would say like top 2 right now. My brain is like to process. It takes time. So yeah, and yeah, so a few other questions. Also, yeah, so Nitya, like you've watched Sky Castle and Penthouse.
Yeah.
So would you like tell us how Sky Castle? I think you watched it a year back, and
Yeah, I saw it while it was ongoing. I think it focuses more on the education system in Korea, and it was a really intense drama to say. They were like from the start till the end, like it kept you on the edge of the seat. And similar to Penthouse, it's like it was. I don't know. I don't have words to express about it. It's like so mind-boggling. Like there are twist after twist. Everybody has something going on, and then like suddenly they become evil. Suddenly they become a good character, and then they become an evil again. So it is just so like there are a lot of variety in that. So I think it's just a fun watch. I think you don't have to take it to heart.
No one, you cannot.
You cannot take it to heart.
Yeah, I think like Korean dramas do make you feel like it's you don't take life seriously when you watch it. Like, there's a lot of it that is.
Yeah, I think Save Me also someone had mentioned that was also equal to Penthouse and the Sky Castle, like such intense. I think that also is the beauty of it, you know, when you see such intense drama, still it takes your mind off things and you just forget everything and focuses on the worry of those characters. So
I think Save Me is also teaches. I think it gives you an insight about the cult in Korea as well. So you get an understanding.
It happens around the world. I think they've really shown it well.
Yeah, it's filled with like thriller, and it's a really good drama. So I think Move to Heaven as well. I think that made me like cry that well. So I think Move to Heaven was one of the few dramas that I binge watched, and it's one of the new dramas on Netflix this year. And I think I was watching it during the pandemic, during when the second wave hit, and it was a really good drama. Made me feel very good when I watched it. So yeah, and
each episode was focused on something really nice. So it gives a message in the end, each episode. So
each person like who has died, they leave a story behind. So the person who is autistic, he tries to find out, he tries to so that they leave this world with an answer. So that yeah, that's really good drama as well. And yeah, I guess
Someone has mentioned about the sauna places that like every
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
towels
think-
with the side thing, even if you try it at home.
yeah, so that's
And
like one of the scenes you see the eggs also,
egg
like they
broken
sit
and
there. So yeah, I think these are few of the dramas. And also, if you guys have any feedback from the session today, do take our feedback survey. So we posted it on the chat room, so you could just before you leave the session, do take the feedback survey. I think maybe just check if there are any last minute questions. So yeah, I think we've already addressed Moon Lovers, some of the few historical dramas. And I think that Shweta has also mentioned about Racket Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Nitya would have watched it. I haven't watched it. So
It's
I think
actually similar to Hospital Playlist. It's just a feel-good drama. There's nothing evil in it, and all the kids are so nice. Like even if they are competitors,
Yeah.
at the end of the day they become friends, and that is something even the adults in the drama find it so amusing.
Yeah.
They go against each other. They go and to school kids. They go on against each other, but end of the day they become friends. So that is really nice.
Yeah,
They
I
are
know.
friends. So yeah. So that is.
I think
make you
Yeah,
a
that's a definite must watch if you're just looking for a nice feel good drama. It actually is just small kids having fun, so it's nice, and their own problems seem so little to us that it's nice to see that they have all their friendship problems, and they for them it is like a big thing, and for us while watching it is really cute. So for them handling all those.
I have a suggestion. I need to watch this. I need to add to my list of Korean dramas. And one last question. So Nitya, Nitya and Shituja, they will answer this. So yeah, which is I haven't watched this drama, so on Netflix. So
Vincent.
Vincent.
Yeah, I think that is also a drama to see, definitely, for the main lead.
So good.
Yeah.
For me, the first episode was the best episode.
I mean, yeah.
There
It's
was
also eye candy. Eye candy. Everybody looks good.
yeah, I think all Korean
The villain
dramas you
looks
see.
good. The hero looks good. Everybody looks good.
I think a few of my friends have told me how they've come across Korean skin, and they're just how does everybody have spotless skin? How is that even possible? So
we learned that as well from K dramas. You
yeah,
that skin, you want that to try to take care of your skin. That's one of the things that we also learn. Also,
yeah.
there's a lot of action in Vincenzo, and it's very funny as at the same time.
There's a lot of comedy, humor, and action, so it is nice.
First episode kind of made me believe that it's gonna be a serious drama, but in the end, it's comedy. So yeah, entertaining.
So yeah, I guess these are few of our suggestions for Korean dramas, and also people who joined the session today. I'm sorry if we couldn't cover all Korean dramas. We didn't have the time. But stay tuned for our next segment, which is the K-pop session, which is episode 3, and that will be hosted by Nitya. And also there's another person, so Anusha, who would also be hosting that event. So do check it out. That's our episode 3. And don't worry if we haven't covered all the Korean dramas here. There's more to come in the sessions on Annyeong Station. So stay tuned for that. And also do take our feedback survey before you leave the session. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending today's session. We hope you had a good time, and we hope we were able to share our stories of how Korean dramas have inspired us to do something different in life, to bring out creativity in our work that we do, and also learn Korean in the process. So thank you, Inko, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.